So we're going to be doing the crane. The crane normally is done in a fall, and it's usually to work with emotions of resentment and sadness and a lot of grief. So when you're doing the crane, I need you to understand the 4 steps, what they mean. So I'm going to first show you and explain, and then I'll do so you can understand when I'm talking. So in the first movement, when the bird cleans the wings, they curve down and they squeeze themselves to reach under the wing. That pushes into the corner of your lungs. In the Chinese medicine, they say that the corner of your lungs hold what we call the old qi, also the old emotions. And they say it's very important to move that energy, stagnant energy, on the bottom of your lungs. And that's why the movement is a sideways movement, so you can squeeze the whole corner of your lungs, both sides. So in the first movement, one hand is going to be facing back, and it's going to open the heart on the one side and the lung on the other side, facing back. And right in here, you put in the back, you open the point number 1 of the lungs in your chest. So in the first movement, if you want it, you can just bend sideways and look down, both ways. And you can either cross, if you feel that you have a good balance, just cross and squeeze sideways again, and the other way. That will push the energy out of the corner of your lungs because you squeeze right into your ribs. Once the energy starts getting out of the corners, it floats into the upper part of your lungs here in the bottom. So when you breathe with the diaphragm, it's a lot easier to move. So when you do the second movement, where you pull the energy out of your dantian, closing the fingers, and you open up. Here is where the lung point is open. When you do this and you push, you also squeeze the back, that's the large intestine, the pair of the lungs. And that's when you step with no weight and you push the energy out. Then you grab one more time the energy out of your dantian, you pull the energy out, holding your arm, open the lungs, sink your weight, step with no weight in there and push. That is the second movement, is the bird shaking its wings, moving that energy out of the lung out in the upper part of your lungs and out of your hands. Here is where the main movement, really after you loosen up that energy in the first 2 movements, where you're gonna open up fully the lung point by pushing your hand back parallel. This foot can go anywhere you want. And that's what opened the full point of the lung and the chest. Okay? So then you do again, second time, looking up and stretching. And here's, once the energy moves out, that's when you're gonna float like a bird, just looking down, seeing things from a different perspective. That's you looking at your emotions from a different angle. So you can just use your foot like this, or if you have your balance, you can go up with that. So that is the crane, and let's just do the 4 movements for you. So it's gonna be looking into my emotions, searching for the deep emotions that are sitting in the bottom of my lungs. Here is open up, pulling that energy out of your lungs. And here is where the energy really floats out of your lungs. And you exhale, blowing out. So the inhale part is here, where you take a deep breath and then blow out. Now the emotions are out. The energy is no longer there. You're gonna just cross, and the center of the lung point goes in the lung point. Just step, open up the lungs, look down like you're seeing things from a different angle. That opens the large intestine in the back, and you can put your foot up or just down. The important part on this is that you're very balanced and relaxed, because when you do this, you push the diaphragm, push the lung energy out of the center of your lungs. So here's no longer the deep energy, it's the energy that floats now into the top of your lungs, and you exhale when you bend out and you look down. Same thing, cross. Open up. Deep breath. Squeeze out, blowing through your mouth, looking your emotions from a different angle. Is that what you want? I don't know if that's what you wanted, the explanation, or you wanted me just to do and talk soft?
Both.
Well, you know the movement, then you can just listen to that so you understand what